This ERPA is being offered $135,000 for their first ER job, and I am going to vet this offer. Is it a good deal, or should they go with this critical care job offer instead? Hey, what's up guys? My name is John and I'm an emergency medicine PA. Welcome to my channel. I am a recent new grad and I have received an EM offer in Connecticut for $119,000 base salary at $57 an hour with evening, weekend, night, and holiday shift premiums. As per HR, usually adding up to $12,000 to $15,000 on top of the base salary. They're offering moonlighting shifts for anywhere up to $80 to $110 an hour. There's a yearly PIP incentive program for which I can earn 3%. I'm not sure what exactly that is. And there is an annual merit-based increase from 3 to 6%. And then after 2 years, the APPs have an opportunity to have an annual pay and title increase after a peer-reviewed process, internal APP career ladder. There's also a market adjustment coming up in early 2024, and that is a good thing. That's coming up pretty soon, and I wonder what that market adjustment would be. This job also has $1,500 per year in continuing medical education, a $4,000 relocation stipend. Of note, I also have a critical care offer for $128,000 a year plus a 10% night shift differential with another hospital system. I really love EM and I always saw myself as an EMPA. I feel like they're offering a lot of incentives, but the base salary seems pretty low for emergency medicine. While I do like critical care, the only reason I would go and take this critical care position is because of the higher base salary, but I'm worried that would be the wrong decision. I tried to negotiate with HR with no luck. Any and all advice is appreciated. Thank you. So without beating around the bush, the first thing I want to say about this ER job offer is that the base salary is pretty low. And that $119,000 that HR is touting is essentially BS unless you're planning on working your butt off at 2,080 hours per year, which essentially comes out to 40 hours a week every single week of the year. So when I see a salary offer like this, I'm wondering, is there PTO? Because it is not feasible to work every single week of the year. Otherwise, that also means you might not be hitting that $119,000. When I started in emergency medicine as a new grad, my contract said I should work a minimum of 1,680 hours. However, I was voluntarily working about 1,800 hours a year because I wanted the extra money, because I wanted to put in the work, pay off the loans, save for a car, save for a house, do all of these financial things, and catch up with investing into my retirement accounts. So, and 1,800 hours a year in the emergency department could be a high stress situation. So if you're working a ball busting 1,800 hours in a year at $57 an hour, you are making $102,600 pre-tax, which is laughably low for a new grad PA in 2024. Now, they do mention that there are moonlighting opportunities, the ability to pick up extra shifts at $80 to $110 an hour, and that is a very good thing that can offset some of that low base salary, that lower base rate. But if I'm assuming that you're supposed to be working 40 hours a week, you might have 10-hour shifts, you're already working 4 shifts in a week. To pick up those moonlighting shifts means that you're going to be having 5 or 6 shifts in a week. And doing that as a new grad is not really advisable, because as a new grad, you should be learning the ropes, honing your skill, honing your craft. I don't really think you should be trying to, speed race, burning yourself out and working a lot of hours like this. You need some time to adjust, get comfortable. I'm not really sure how feasible that is to be a new grad and be picking up a lot of moonlighting shifts. Another thing about this offer that's important to be mentioned is, what is that differential? Are they paying you $2 an hour for the night shifts and for the weekends? Are they paying you $5 an hour extra? How much more are they paying you for those shifts? And then for the holidays, are they paying you time and a half, or are they just paying you that $5 an hour differential? Because if you're working a 10-hour shift and you're getting $5 extra, you're getting all of $50, it's not really worth it. But if you're getting time and a half, you're getting $85.50 an hour on your holidays. I think that would be worthwhile. HR said that you're going to get an extra $12,000 to $15,000 a year coming from these differentials. But then again, HR also said you'll make $119,000 from this job offer, so I'm not sure that you can exactly trust what HR is saying in this situation. This PA also mentioned that they have a market adjustment coming up in early 2024. So historically, how much are these market adjustments? Are they going to bump you guys up $1? Because if that's the situation, then coming in at $57 an hour still doesn't mean it's worth it. But if they're going to market adjust you up to $63 an hour, or $65 an hour, this is a way more attractive deal then. Then getting $4,000 for relocation is a very good benefit, as well as $1,500 a year for continuing medical education seems pretty standard for the ER. One of the big things with a lot of these offers is that HR doesn't work the shifts. They're here to sell you a dream. They're here to sell you the story. There's a lot more to a job offer than just the salary. And I have a few more questions. And this is something that you should maybe think about if and when you're analyzing and looking at these ER job offers. Whenever you get a job offer in emergency medicine, you want to have more information. What does the training look like, especially if you're a new grad? And how long are they going to train you for? What does the supervision look like? What sort of acuity as you, the PA, the NP, what are you expected to handle? What is the average patient volume that you'll see in a shift? For instance, when I started my most recent job and I'm doing 10-hour shifts, I asked them, hey, during the 3-to-1 shift, about how many patients am I going to be seeing? And when they say, oh, you'll probably see like 16, 17 patients, okay, that's a fair assessment. Now, obviously, in the ER, every day is variable. One day, I could maybe see 13 patients. The next day, I could see 24. If you get into the job and you realize, they kind of lied to me about these patient volumes, like I'm seeing way more patients than they promised, and I came in at this rate, and there's this sort of discrepancy between reality and expectations, point out for salary raises or as reasons why you should leave the job. Also, you want to ask, why is there a job opening? Did someone leave due to a life event or professional reason? Or is the place really falling apart and you don't want to put yourself in such a situation? Or maybe you find out that, the other 3 PAs all left because they weren't getting any wage increases year after year after year, or they hated dealing with Dr. So-and-so, or they just found better opportunities at a neighboring hospital. I mean, they might not tell you those exact reasons, but you kind of want to know, why is it that there is an opening at this location? In the case of my job, I heard there's an opening because the PAs there didn't want to get their COVID vaccines, and I already got a vaccine, so I was like, whatever, I have it. I'm good to go. You should take a short tour of the place before you accept any job offer. Ideally, you should look at the people working during the tour. How is the morale? How are they behaving? How clean and orderly does the ER look? And did any of your colleagues give you a real off-the-record details of the place and why you would enjoy working there or hate working there? Any job that I go to from now on, I usually know somebody that's been working there or has passed through that certain location or ER. And I could get in touch and be like, hey, I heard you used to work at this hospital ER. What are your thoughts on it overall? And just hear what they have to say. What is the commute like? Obviously, the shorter the commute, the better. How are the other job benefits? Like, is there malpractice with tail coverage? And do they pay your licensing fees? My assessment of this ER new grad offer, between a potential $130,000, $135,000 a year, but it does depend on many things like merit-based increases and annual pay bumps and 2-year review, all of this other stuff. I think you're going to be putting in a lot of time, investment, and a lot of hard work for $57 an hour, and it is not worth it. I think that critical care job at a guaranteed $128 plus a 10% night shift bonus, hitting up to $140,000 automatically, sounds like a lot better of a deal just purely based off of compensation. But I don't know the commute. I don't know the benefits. Maybe this ER job does actually pan out. Maybe you go do this for a year or two and you say it's not worth it and you go do something else, or you go to a new ER. That's always a possibility. I mean, I don't really see either offer as being horrible. I just think $57 an hour is a real slap in the face. And it's kind of hard to gauge how much extra you're going to be making. I know HR said an extra $12,000 or $15,000 on top based off of the differentials and stuff. It's a lot easier to just have that guaranteed base rate. I would rather them just say, hey, we're going to pay you $65 an hour, $70 an hour, and you know what you're getting when you go into these shifts. That's my thoughts. I would also just briefly want to say, as a new grad PA, it is very important where you start out, especially in terms of the ER. And that training and how they expect to onboard you and how busy you can be is a really big factor that wasn't mentioned in this offer. Because I'll tell you, if this person sees himself as an ERPA, then they go do their first ER job and they absolutely hate it. They're going to really question, themselves, their career, like what do they really want to do next? It's a big choice. It's a big decision. I'll tell you, I've been in the ER for 5 years now. If my first ER job, where I stayed almost 3 years, my first ER job didn't go well, if I didn't feel appreciated, if I didn't feel like I was growing, would I still be in the ER? And the answer is probably no. I was happy and excited to continue working in emergency medicine. But I see stories all the time online of people who got disillusioned. They went into the ER, they had a first bad experience, and they went on to greener pastures elsewhere. So keep in mind, if you're a new grad and you're vetting these offers, there's a lot more than just the salary. You should really fully vet the offer. And truly, I think one of the biggest things, if you skip the section, is the vibe of the hospital? Do you feel, good going in there? Do you think the coworkers are gonna be good? Do you think you have a supportive environment with the physicians and something where you can actually ramp up and practice good medicine? If you guys enjoyed this offer review, I have many more offer reviews on my channel. Some of them are older, from when I was in my first apartment, but still good content, still good videos. If you guys have any comments, as always, please leave a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.